with the feelings of relationship. Now, the foundation of relationship is trust. Now, just to recall our previous sessions that we have explored, we have seen that for human beings, physical facility is necessary. But beyond that, relationship is also necessary. Are we able to see this? So this is one of the very important proposals. To live with fulfillment in relationship, one needs to have right understanding of the relationship is also necessary. So we always find ourselves struggling with the fulfillment of relationship. Now, if we ask questions, what is that one needs for a person to be with harmony? That would be as a right understanding and right feelings. And in order to understand this right feelings, one has to understand the right understanding of relationship is very important. And right understanding with respect to physical facility. So in order to have a fruitful relationship, one has to have right understanding of feelings, that which is necessary. Now, we also have been into investigating another proposal, that is human being is a coexistence of self and body. And the body, which is a material unit, and self is the conscious unit. Whereas we can't quantify the self, we cannot see it, but there are feelings in the self. And these activities of feelings, responses, we can see that all these kinds of activities exist in the self. And the need of the self is continuous happiness, which is fulfilled by right understanding and right feelings. Having said that, physical facility is also required. It's required for nurturing, protection, and right utilization of the body. So the need of the consciousness, that is the self, is fulfilled by the activities of the self. That is right understanding and right feelings. But the need of the body is fulfilled by physiochemical things, which is again a material thing. Are you able to see this? I would appreciate if you respond in the chat, or you can give your reflections to this, so then we can move ahead. So are you able to see this? That is, human beings is a coexistence of self and body, and the need of the self is continuous happiness, which is fulfilled by right understanding and right feelings. And with that, we also need physical facility, which is required for the nurturing, protection, and right utilization of the body. Now, let us explore further. Now, we will start our exploration in relationship, that is, right understanding of feelings in relationship in this session. To understand, we have to see that the family is the basic unit or building block of human organization. We have already seen this in the previous session that was continuing. And it extends beyond the blood relationships to friends, classmates, and teachers in school, and batchmates, and so on. Are you able to see this? That the family is the basic unit of all human organization. And we see that though we have, blood relations with some, but we have an extended family with friends, classmates, teachers, schoolmates, batchmates, faculty. Now, if we are to ask this question to ourselves, how do we want to live with them? Is it with mutual fulfillment, mutual happiness, or some other way? Now, let me put this question in a more simpler manner. Do we want to live with relationship or in opposition? When we see this, a family that is extended to our friends, classmates, and teachers, and many others who are associated with us, if we ask ourselves, how do we want to live with them? With mutual fulfillment, mutual happiness, or some other way? So I think the answer to all of us will come that definitely with mutual fulfillment, mutual happiness, and not some other way of opposition, isn't it? Are you able to see this? Do you feel that this is what we need? Does fulfillment of relationship plays a major part in our life? As we can see, the harmony in the family has primarily to do with the fulfillment of relationship between one human being and the other human being. So we already said that the relationship is already there. We are not establishing any relationship. So what we are trying to build up is the fulfillment of relationship in order to exercise, in order to make sure or ensure the harmony in the family. Because the relationship is between one human being and the other human being. Now, in order to fulfill this relationship, it is very pertinent on our part to understand relationship. Now, there are 4 aspects to understand about relationship. That is, relationship is already there, whether we recognize it or not. Are you able to see this? As we just discussed, that is, the family is the basic unit and it is extended beyond the blood relationships also. We have relationship with friends, classmates, parents, grandparents, children, spouse. So we are associated faculty with whom we are working in our workplaces. So if we see that the relationship is already there, whether we recognize it or not. And relationship is between oneself and another self. Are you able to see this? When we talk of relationship and the fulfillment of relationship, and take for example respect. Now, who wants respect? Is it the self or the body? So definitely it is the conscious unit. And so this relationship is between oneself and the other self. And like supposing I need respect, and in order to understand respect and get respect, I need to respect the other. And the body is used for expression. As we discussed, that is, human beings is a coexistence of self and body, self is the conscious unit which has feelings in it. And the body is used for this expression of feelings. Say, for example, when we greet each other, so sometimes you might get a greeting as good morning, and some of them might not greet you. So this is just a kind of expression that you're doing through your body. But my feelings towards greeting each other is there because I'm greeting from one self to the other. I'm respecting oneself to the other self. And these feelings there are feelings in relationship, as we discussed, in oneself and the other self and for the other self, isn't it? And these feelings can be recognized. They are definite. Say, for example, respect. Say, for example, gratitude. Are these feelings in the self or in the body? And when these feelings are recognized and with the feelings which are definite, then it leads to mutual happiness. The fulfillment of these feelings leads to mutual happiness. I respect other and the other respects me. And so this fulfillment will lead to mutual happiness. Are you able to see this? And is there any question pertinent to this? Then we can take and then move ahead. So when we talk about relationships, we have to understand feelings. And just because it is stated that one has to feel, so whether they are true or false. So this is just a proposal. So one has not to conclude whether it is true or false. We have to verify on the basis of our natural acceptance. And once we verify it, we have to validate it through our experiential validation. And if these proposals are verified, we can say that the proposal is true. Okay, so we'll move on to the next. Now, when we see these questions as what is naturally acceptable to us, feeling of trust or mistrust. If we understand feelings, definitely natural acceptance will be with the feeling of trust. Similarly, feeling of respect or disrespect. Certainly feeling of respect. Because these are the feelings which are there in myself. And I would definitely like to respect. I would not like to live with disrespect. Somebody disrespects me, I do not like. I've been to a friend's house and I go with a lot of love and care for the friend. And suddenly, if someone disrespects me there, so am I hurt or do I still, I'm unperturbed with this kind of a thing? So definitely, I would like to live with a feeling of respect. Now, feeling of affection or jealousy. So we would like to live with a feeling of affection. Similarly, feeling of gratitude or ingratitude. Definitely with the feeling of gratitude and feeling of love or hatred. We don't like to be in hatred, isn't it? That is not naturally acceptable to us. Though we may see, sometimes people are fighting among themselves, people are into conflicts. We see now and then there are a lot of conflicts around. But will it be ever naturally acceptable? What do you think? Because our basic aspiration of every human being is to live in harmony and have prosperity, happiness and prosperity, to be in harmony with each other. So definitely, I will not like to live in hatred. So there is some sort of, maybe I'm some sort of a problem in me, my program to achieve my natural acceptance in establishing the happiness and prosperity of in continuity is lacking somewhere. We'll have to work out through that. We have to verify through that. So when we have these feelings in us, does it lead to our happiness? That is the feeling of trust, feeling of respect. And when we express them to the other, does it lead to happiness to the other as well? When it is reciprocated well, I respect the other and the other respects me too. I show affection. Now, say, for example, if the relationship is of a mother and a child, so a mother nurtures the child, cares for the child, loves the child. And immediately the child comes to know if the mother is angry. And so it's in a kind of a discomfort. Are you able to see this? Even it happens sometimes with our friends. Like sometimes we are not able, sometimes we feel that we are not respected by our friends, or the feeling of respect is lacking in our friends. And so if we express our feelings of respect, love towards each other, so does it lead to happiness of the other as well? Or can we see that our complaints in relationship are due to the absence of one or more of these feelings? Are you able to see this? And what we do is we try to compensate with physical facility. Does it work? Say, for example, at our homes, we are all working. So at times when we have children, and instead of giving them our own time where we could extend our love, affection towards them and give some quality time to each other. But what we do is instead of that, we supposing we could not give them time. So what we do, we get some sort of a material thing, some toys, some chocolates, which may be very unhealthy. But does it work? So can we see this? Are we able to explore this within ourselves? Now, if we see our current scenario, so today we are unhappy because we have not understood these feelings. And we assume that they are not in us. Because when we consider human beings as a body, as a material unit, so we cannot recognize the feelings. And we only expect the other to express these feelings to us. If the other expresses these feelings to us, we feel happy. And if the other does not express these feelings to us, we feel unhappy. Are you able to see this? And in these situations, what do we do? In order to get respect, we try many things. We relate respect with physical facilities. Like say, for example, I'm going to a party. I'm wearing a very flashy cloth because I feel if I stand out with a flashy cloth, people will start respecting me. Now let us explore, let us pause and think. Does it get me respect, or it is creating a kind of envy, a kind of jealousy among people? And sometimes we start copying appearances also. Say, you see, nowadays we see students coming with different kinds of hairstyle, which may be very uncomfortable for them. But just in order to feel that they will be respected through that, we start using accented language. We might use any language for communication, that is okay. But when we start accented language, we show so much of artificiality in the use of language, in our lifestyle as well. Say, for example, I flaunt with, that I have so many things. And but because it is opted by others, it is, with others. And so I also try to get into all those kinds of things. That is, I need some sort of a very, cars that which is costly, whatever. And, so I might be compromising with many things in order to fulfill that. And at the same time, I'm still unhappy. Are you able to see this? So today we see, when we analyze the current scenario, we see that people are not able to express the feelings of respect to others because they don't have it. But they are trying to hard to get it from others. As you see, we just discussed, in order to get respect, so we are doing so many things. Copying appearances, using accented language, and changing our lifestyle, which may be very uncomfortable for us, trying to imitate others, because we are considering human beings as a material unit. We don't recognize the self. We don't recognize the feelings in the self. So each time we are struggling within ourselves in order to get respect from others. And it's like every one of us is begging for respect and everybody's bowl is empty. What a precarious condition that we are in. When we realize that our basic aspiration is to be with continuous happiness and prosperity, but yet we fail in that when we do not understand the feelings and we consider human beings as a material unit and try to, reformulate with a variety of ways in order to, get respect. And ultimately, what happens? We are sitting on with empty bowls and still begging for respect. Are we able to see this? Do we also relate to this and about this analysis about the current scenario? And is there any questions here? So I would be happy to take, or any reflections. Okay, so let's explore this within ourselves and try to verify within ourselves. Now, the most fundamental thing is to understand these feelings. Sometimes we feel that some of our friends in, say, for example, in colleges or in schools, so I'm good to them, but the other is not very good to me. So some sort of a resentment is within me. I'm not able to have this kind of a fruitful relation. So my relationship is getting disturbed. So can we see that what is the problem? Where lies the problem? Is it with me or is it with the other? And who is stopping me to have this fruitful relationship? And we are in good relationship with few of them as well. So that means we can see that there is good relationship within us. And many a times due to lack of values and lack of understanding of these values, it creates some sort of a misunderstanding and misrepresentation of our feelings. So in this way, understanding the feeling, ensuring the feeling, expressing the feeling, and the right evaluation of the feeling leads to mutual happiness. Can you see this? Is my program very much focused to this understanding of these feelings? Because the most fundamental thing in fulfillment of relationship is to understand the feelings that which is there in the self. And when we have this right evaluation of the feeling, it leads to mutual happiness. We'll try to understand more about it with the feeling of trust first. Though there are 9 feelings as we have discussed, but earlier in the sessions, but today we will try to understand the feeling of trust as the foundational feeling. Now, trust is to be assured. It is to have the clarity that the other wants to make me happy and prosperous. Let us see this about our natural acceptance. I want to make myself always happy. Are you able to see this? Do you really do you agree with this statement? That is, I want to make myself always happy. Isn't it? And I want to make the other always happy. Are you able to see this? And isn't it our natural acceptance? That is, I want to make myself always happy, and I also want to make the other always happy. So we put a tick here because this is about our natural acceptance. Now, the other wants to make herself or himself always happy. What do you think? Yes, that is also about naturally acceptable. and the other wants to make me always happy. Now there is a question mark because I can't be sure of. Can you relate to this? Can you please respond in the chat? For the question is 4A, the other wants to make me always happy. We are not very sure of whether other wants to make me happy, always happy or not. So let us see the other set of questions about our abilities. I am able to make myself always happy. Is it possible? Or do I really, my ability, am I able to make myself? I'm not sure of. Though it is natural acceptance to me is I want to make myself always happy. But when it comes to my ability that am I able to make myself always happy, I'm not very sure. Again, to be, I'm able to make the other always happy. Now, when I'm not sure whether I'm able to make myself always happy or not, how can I be sure of making the other always happy? So there is again a question mark. And the other is able to make himself or herself always happy. Again, I'm not sure of. Because I'm not sure of making myself always happy. And I'm not sure of making the other always happy. So how can I be sure of the other is able to make himself or herself always happy? Because I'm not sure of myself. And the other is able to make me always happy. Now there is a double question mark. Why? Because I'm not sure of the other. Now, when I check on the intention, that which is naturally acceptable to me, so I see that I want to make myself always happy. I want to make the other always happy. This is also my intention. And the other wants to make herself or himself always happy. And when it wants to make me always happy, there comes a doubt of intention. I'm not very sure of. When we check about our ability, I'm able to make myself always happy. Again, I'm not sure. I can't say about it and neither. And I think the answer would be no to it. And I'm able to make the other always happy. Now, when I'm not sure of whether I'm able to make myself happy or not. So how can I be sure of to make the other always happy? Then the other is able to make himself or herself always happy. Again, there is a doubt because here the ability is basically in the competence. And the other is able to make me always happy. Now there is a double question mark. Because it goes on my imagination about the desire, thought, and expectations about my current state. When I think of I'm able to make myself always happy? So my answer to this is no. So this is my present state. I'm all able to make the other always happy. Now, this is also not possible because I'm not sure about myself being always happy or my ability in making myself always happy. So how can I ensure to make the other always happy? And the next statement, that is the other is able to make herself or himself always happy. Again, there is a doubt on the competence of the with the present state of imagination that we are having, the desired thought and expectation, that which is forming our imagination. And the other is able to make me always happy. So again, there's a double question mark because I'm just not sure of that. Now, when I take 1A and 2A, that is, I want to make myself always happy. I want to make the other always happy. So this is, I'm checking on the intention. That is, I have the intention to make myself always happy. And this is also my intention to make the other always happy. But when it comes to the other wants to make me always happy, I have a doubt. And similarly, the other is able to make me always happy. I have a double doubt. So I'm checking on the competence now. And I'm doubting on the intention of the other. Am I able to see this? Now, this is an example. The other broke a glass. Supposing like two are there and someone broke a glass for you. So what happens if the other makes a mistake even once? I doubt his intention. Supposing you are you and your roommate are there, two friends are staying in a room. So one of them comes and the glass breaks by chance. The glass is kept on the table with a glass of water, and the glass broke because by the dashing of the roommate when he came into the room. So my immediate reaction would be that this is not the way how one walks. He's perhaps careless. So I doubt his intention. And I say that he makes mistakes intentionally just to make me, put me into trouble. That is, I have to do so much of cleaning now because the glass broke, the water spilled over the floor. And then I develop a feeling of opposition. I have a feeling of opposition and get irritated and angry. And the outcome is I reinforce that the other is bad and cannot improve. But what happens if I make the same mistake 100 times? The same glass which is kept, and when I enter the room and it falls down. So I never doubt my intention. I say, oh, by mistake, I'm so sorry, it fell down. And I make mistakes by accident. I have a feeling I am special. And I reinforce I'm good. I do not make effort to improve my competence. Are we able to see this? Is it relatable? That is, when somebody does a mistake, even for once, I immediately doubt his intention and think that he makes mistakes intentionally. And I have a feeling of opposition. I get irritated, I get angry, and draw a conclusion that the other is bad and cannot improve. But what happens to me? I doubt on the supposing I doubt on the other's intention, but I don't doubt on my intention. The same mistake I keep on repeating again and again, maybe to the extent of 100 times or more. I never doubt my intention because I feel I make mistakes, but my mistakes are by accident. It is not intentional. It's not to trouble others. With the feeling that I'm special, I cannot do anything that which is wrong. And then I feel that I'm good and do not make effort to improve my competence because my intentions are always right. Whereas I doubt the other's intention for a single mistake. Am I able to see this? So now doubt on intention is a major reason for problems in relationship, isn't it? Say, for example, a husband and wife. So many a times, if the wife does a mistake, so she starts, the husband blames the wife that, oh, this is not the way how it is to be done. And it is vice versa also. And the result is, that is, I may not speak to each other for days, or sometimes it also leads to a breakup in the relationship. It might happen with our friends as well, with our acquaintances as well, our associates as well. So through this, many a times, we must have lost many good friends. If we start self-exploring within ourselves, we would see that the relationships that we have lost over the years, it is because we had a doubt on the intention of the individuals, which has created the disharmony and which has prevented the fulfillment of in relationship, isn't it? But if you have unconditional, continuous trust on intention, that is through your natural acceptance of the other, and if the other is lacking competence, what will you do? Try to improve his competence and also improve my competence, or get irritated, angry, having a feeling of opposition. What would be naturally acceptable to you? Because if the relationship is unconditional and I have a continuous trust on intention, then at least I will ensure the harmony within myself and also express this unconditional trust on the other, ensuring harmony within the other self as well. Or sometimes I might also go to the extent of initiating a dialogue or giving some space. Now, if you are to choose from these options, what would be your choice? That is, try to improve his competence and also improve my competence, or get irritated and be in a state of disharmony, get angry, and live with the feeling of opposition. If we are to question ourselves that do we like to live in opposition or in relationship, the immediate answer that comes is, I want to live in relationship. So we don't want to lose relationships because that is not naturally acceptable to us. So if there is trust on intention, we make a response. And if there is a doubt on intention, we react. Reaction is through anger, irritation, feeling of opposition. So how many persons do you have trust on intention on the basis of your natural acceptance, which is unconditional and continuous? Can you just list out? I think when we start listing out about persons whom we have trust on intention and our relationship is unconditional and continuous, so we might see that there are very few relationships as such, or sometimes may not be any. Are we able to see this? So trust on intention is the foundation of all relationships. Now you can get an idea of the state of your understanding about relationship from this exploration, that is, feeling born out of understanding can be definite, unconditional, and continuous. Say, for example, the relationship of a mother and a child, a father and a son. So the relationship of a father and a son is again based on the understanding which is definite and unconditional, a mother and a child. So however difficult a situation the mother may be, but she never forgets to nurture the child. And the mother knows when the child is hungry, when the child needs food. So can we verify these proposals and have an experiential validation about it? Through self-exploration. Now, if you have trust, so about our natural acceptance, about I want to make myself always happy, I want to make the other always happy, and the other wants to make himself or herself always happy, and the other wants to make me always happy. So here, when I don't doubt on the intention, so these expressions are naturally acceptable to me. And about my ability, that is, I'm able to make myself always happy. I am able to make the other always happy. And the other is able to make himself or herself always happy. And the other is able to make me always happy. Now, there are question marks in all these abilities because I'm doubting on the competence. There is some imagination going on within me when I check on the competence of my desired thought and expressions. So supposing I don't doubt on the intention and I go by the natural acceptance, then it will naturally come to me that I'm able to make the other always happy and the other wants to make me always happy. Now let us also understand that what do we understand by intention and competence. If you try to analyze your own responses to this, I think there'll be much clarity about these understanding of intention and competence. You'll find that while evaluating yourself, you evaluate on the basis of intention, that is natural acceptance. And you think that you're a good person and your intentions are always good. On the other hand, when you evaluate the other, you evaluate on the basis of competence. So that is why you are not able to make the other always happy all the time. And most of the time, we end up making each other unhappy. So when we feel that the other wants to make you unhappy, so you have a doubt on the other's intention. Thus, if we are able to see intention and competence distinctly, then we will be able to be assured about the intention of other human beings. And with this, we make a program of interaction with right evaluation of our competence and their competence. Are you able to verify this? That is when I don't doubt on intention. So I'll be able to make the other always happy, and the other wants to make me always happy. So I will be in a state of harmony, and I will be in a state of fulfilling my relationship with the other. So here again, if we take the same example, that is the glass broke by accident. So, and when we see that even the other makes the same mistake 100 times, but I'm clear about his intention. That is, it is not intentionally he has done, but it's by mistake. And to err is human. So I know the mistake is due to lack of competence and not lack of intention. And I will make an effort to help him improve through his competence, with a feeling of affection. So I'll have a thought that I know they have difficulty in understanding, and also I may have difficulty in explaining. So we are trying to build the competence of each other. And so the trust on intention helps in fulfilling a relationship. And similarly, the glass broke by accident. So when I make a mistake, even once I'm clear about my intention, I know the mistake is due to lack of competence, not lack of intention. And I make every effort to improve my competence. I'm willing to learn. And if the other is lacking in competence, I'm committed to help the other to improve his competence without becoming irritated. So trust on intention is the starting point for mutual development. Now, if we have to sum up, so we saw that trust is to be assured that the other intends to make me happy and prosperous. And we also saw that relationship already exists. We don't have to create it. Rather, we only have to recognize and fulfill it. And the family is the basic unit of all human interaction, human-human interaction. And the basic issue in family is that of relationship. And in relationship, there are 9 feelings that can be clearly understood. And there is harmony in the family, mutual happiness in the family when we understand this feeling and ensure our inner living. And today we discussed about trust, which is the starting point for mutual development. So to take an assignment, to observe with all your relationships that you are living with, your family, your friends, your children, your spouse, and try to analyze that how many times do I doubt on their intention, or I'm trying to improve on their competence and also trying to improve my competence. I'm not getting irritated. I'm trying to build within myself the right understanding and right feeling to fulfill the relationship. So thank you. And if there are any questions, I can take it up.
Thank you, Shamprabha for the enriching session. Certainly, this discussion, everybody needs to have as many time as possible. Every time we get something new out of it. We will continue this discussion next week also, same time. Thank you, everybody. Namaste.